Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into the really dynamic world of the meal kit market.
That's right.
We've got some great insights here pulled from the Global Meal Kit Market Growth Trajectories 2021-2033 report. We want to unpack, where the industry stands now and maybe more importantly, where it seems to be going.
Yeah.
Have you ever stopped to think just how big this whole meal kit thing has actually become?
Well, that's exactly our mission today.
Yeah.
We're going to try and navigate the current landscape, look at the future projections,
Mhm.
spanning data from 2021, checking in around 2025, and then looking way out to 2033.
Okay.
It's really about understanding the growth trajectories, the numbers, yes, but
Mhm.
also the forces behind them and which regions are really driving things.
And for you listening in, why should this, matter? Well, these numbers, they offer more than just stats.
Mhm.
They really paint a picture of how consumer habits are changing, this global move towards convenience, and frankly, a fast-growing industry that might be changing your grocery habits or even your local economy.
Absolutely. It touches a lot of things.
So let's start with the big picture then, the global market. Back in 2021, the industry pulled in just over, $9 billion in revenue?
Yeah, 9,000 million, so $9 billion.
Right. But the really striking part is how it's set to accelerate. By 2025, it's projected to hit over $10.4 billion.
Hmm.
And then by 2033, it's forecast to reach, well, nearly $14 billion. That's a pretty steady compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of about 3.7%.
What's fascinating there, I think, is just the consistency of that growth.
Right.
It's not like a sudden bubble or anything. It's this sustained upward curve over more than a decade.
Uh-huh.
And that, it signals a real shift in how people were thinking about meals, about cooking. Meal kits seem to have really cemented their place globally.
That's a strong point, a fundamental shift. Okay, so let's bring that global view down a bit. Let's look at regions, starting with North America.
Sure.
This region was already a big player in 2021, generating over $3.2 billion. And by 2033, it's projected to climb to almost $4.7 billion. That's, well, solid growth for what you might call a more mature market. What are the specifics telling us there?
Well, yeah, within North America, the U.S. is clearly the giant.
Okay.
Its revenue is expected to grow from around $2.6 billion in 2021 to over $3.7 billion by 2033.
Wow.
But Canada and Mexico, I mean, they're smaller markets in absolute terms, sure, but they're showing really significant growth too, contributing proportionally.
Right.
Canada's heading towards nearly $600 million, and Mexico looks set to hit over $400 million by 2033. It kind of reflects how early North America got into meal kits, right? Convenience, different dietary options, the demand is still strong.
Okay, that makes sense. So from those established North American markets, let's pivot to Europe.
Okay.
The market there is also on a strong upward path, projected to grow from over $1.8 billion in 2021 to around 2.6 cents, maybe $2.7 billion by 2033. What kind of patterns are we seeing across Europe? It's pretty diverse over there.
It really is a mosaic, yeah. You see pretty significant jumps in key markets. Germany, for instance, is projected to go from about $383 million to almost $600 million by 2033.
Okay.
And the UK moving up from $250 million to over $380 million in that same time frame.
Right.
And you've got countries like France, Italy, Spain also showing robust growth. It seems like it's pretty widespread across Western Europe.
Uh-huh.
And even, smaller economies like Denmark, Switzerland, even Luxembourg, they're showing steady, consistent increases too.
Interesting.
It suggests that the convenience factor really appeals across different European lifestyles, even with, very different food cultures.
Yeah, that cross-cultural appeal is interesting. Okay, now, let's zoom in on Asia Pacific. Because this region, wow, it stands out with some really explosive growth figures. It's set to rise from about $2.6 billion in 2021 to a pretty staggering $4.4 billion by 2033.
Yeah, it's a big jump.
And what makes it even more remarkable is the CAGR, right? Over 4.5%. That's the highest of the major regions we're looking at.
It really is. The sheer scale and that projected speed in Asia Pacific are, well, they're fascinating. China's leading the pack in total value, forecast to grow from nearly $877 million to an impressive $1.5 billion plus by 2033.
Huge.
But the real standout, as you mentioned, the CAGR, is India.
Right.
It shows the highest individual country's CAGR we see in this data, over 5.6%.
Wow.
Its market expands from around $270 million to over $520 million.
Right.
That's nearly doubling.
That's incredible growth.
And Japan, South Korea, Australia, they're also adding significantly to the regional total. Singapore, too. Southeast Asia as a whole block.
Right.
This kind of explosive growth, it points to a mix of things, doesn't it? Like rapid urbanization, a growing middle class.
Uh-huh. Digital access.
Exactly. Increasing digital literacy, and maybe a younger population that's just quicker to embrace these convenient food models.
Yeah.
Meal kits seem perfectly placed for those busy urban lifestyles and, the diverse tastes in that part of the world.
It's a really compelling story there in APAC. Okay, shifting focus again. Let's look at South America.
Yep.
This region is projected to expand from almost $600 million in 2021 to over $950 million by 2033. Still a significant growth.
Definitely. And in South America, Brazil is, well, it's leading the charge, projected to grow from over $212 million to around $335 million by 2033.
Right.
Argentina also shows really strong growth, heading towards nearly $190 million.
Right.
Colombia's right there, too, similar trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
And the trend continues, across Peru, Chile. They're all showing consistent, though maybe slightly smaller, increases.
It was pretty broad-based there, too.
Yeah, it underscores how meal kits are finding traction in developing economies as well. Probably driven by similar things, convenience, changing urban lifestyles.
Okay. Next up, the Middle East. This market's also on a solid upward path, rising from, about $423 million in 2021 to projected $673 million by 2033.
Yeah, and within the Middle East, Saudi Arabia is a key player. Its market is set to grow from nearly $118 million to almost $190 million by 2033. Turkey and the UAE are also showing strong performance. The UAE is heading towards maybe $90 million, Turkey towards $124 million, and even countries like Egypt and Qatar are seeing pretty substantial gains projected.
So, again, it suggests that growing appetite for convenience.
Exactly. Convenience, maybe diversified food options in a region that's seeing a lot of economic development and social change.
Makes sense. All right, finally, let's turn to Africa, a region starting from a perhaps smaller base, but also experiencing quite robust growth. It's projected to increase from over $342 million in 2021 to nearly $540 million by 2033.
Yeah, and in Africa, South Africa really stands out. Its market's growing from over $121 million to potentially more than $205 million by 2033.
Okay.
Nigeria is also a significant contributor here, rising from about $57.5 million to over $93 million.
Right.
And then the rest of Africa category, lumped together, still represents a pretty substantial and growing segment.
So even in emerging markets, the trend holds.
It seems so. It highlights, I think, the increasing influence of things like urbanization and digital adoption pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Consumers are seeking out modern solutions for, how they eat.
So, okay, we've gone around the globe. What does this all really mean? I mean, the data seems incredibly clear.
Yeah.
Across every single region, we've looked at North America, Europe, Asia Pacific, South America, Middle East, Africa, we're seeing significant, consistent growth. It tells us, doesn't it, that the global appetite for meal kits isn't just expanding. It's becoming really embedded in how people live and eat. It's touching almost every corner of the world.
It really is a pervasive trend.
Yeah.
It's quite fascinating. The numbers show, I think, unmistakably, this clear, sustained shift in how consumers behave globally when it comes to food.
Yeah.
And while, every continent is moving up, the standout growth in places like Asia Pacific.
Especially India and China.
Exactly, particularly driven by countries like India and China. It really spotlights where some of the most dynamic shifts are happening. It's really a testament to how these services are adapting and meeting those diverse global needs for convenience, for variety, for just making home cooking a bit simpler.
Absolutely. So the big takeaway, the meal kit market is truly global, and it looks set for robust, steady growth pretty much everywhere over the next decade or so.
Which, it raises an important question, maybe, for you, our listener.
Yeah.
Given this really remarkable global expansion, this consistent adoption across such different economies, what fundamental shifts in, say, lifestyle or consumer priorities are these numbers actually revealing about the future of food and maybe how you will approach it?
That's a really interesting thought to leave folks with. Something to chew on, definitely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the meal kit market.
My pleasure.
We hope you feel a little more clued in, and we definitely invite you to keep exploring complex topics like this with curiosity and a real thirst for knowledge.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're cutting through the noise around something that's gone from this sort of niche thing to, well, seemingly everywhere. Meal kits. Whether you've tried them yourself, seen them popping up in grocery aisles, or just wondered, how they became such a big deal, this deep dive is for you.
That's right. We're going to pull back the curtain a bit on this multi-billion-dollar industry.
Billions, wow.
Yeah. And this deep dive, it'll explore what's really driving its incredible growth, the hidden challenges it's battling, maybe beneath the surface, and some surprising innovations shaping its future.
Okay,
And it's important to say, all our insights today, they're drawn directly from the experts at Cognitive Market Research. So it's data-backed stuff.
got it. Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission here is to navigate the ins and outs of this, really rapidly evolving industry and give you a shortcut to being, well, properly informed.
Sounds good.
So let's kick off with why. Why meal kits aren't just some fad, but seem to be a real solution to a very modern problem. The data points to convenience, right? That's the big one.
Definitely the king. Yeah.
But it feels like more than just saving time. It's about, like, the mental load, that exhaustion of what's for dinner. Every single night, making the list, doing the shop.
Absolutely. The cognitive burden, that's a great way to put it.
Meal kits, they don't just deliver food. They deliver sort of decision freedom.
Exactly. They wipe out the grocery shopping, the meal planning, even the guesswork with those pre-measured ingredients and the step-by-step recipes.
Right. And who's this really clicking with?
Well, the research shows it's particularly appealing to, working professionals, young couples, busy families, basically anyone who still wants that home-cooked meal experience, but without all the hassle that comes with it.
Makes sense.
And what's fascinating here is how closely that convenience ties into another major factor,
Yeah.
health.
Ah, okay. How so?
Well, people today are just much more aware of their eating habits, right? And meal kit companies, they're responding directly to that.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing just incredibly diverse options. You've got keto, vegan, paleo, low carb, gluten-free, you name it. They're really trying to make nutrition made easy a thing.
So it's not just variety, it's actual dietary management.
Precisely. It's about built-in portion control, tailored plans that take the guesswork out. It makes sticking to dietary goals actually achievable for, well, almost anyone, whatever their aim.
And technology must play a huge role in all this. It can't just be websites taking orders, can it?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, sure, the rise of e-commerce and subscription models made ordering super easy, incredibly seamless.
Yeah.
But the real magic, and cognitive market research really highlights this, is how digital tools like AI and data analytics are, well, they're at the very heart of this personalized experience now.
Okay, tell me more about that. How does AI fit in?
Well, they're not just remembering what you ordered last time. They're analyzing your browsing habits, maybe predicting new flavors or cuisines you might enjoy based on, like, wider data trends, too.
Huh, so it learns.
Exactly. It makes finding something new feel really intuitive. It's less, what do I want? And more like, what perfect meal does the system know I need tonight? It's just a smarter, more user-friendly way of doing things that kind of evolves with your tastes.
Okay, so technology is definitely pushing this forward, making it super customized, frictionless.
Yeah.
But for every boom, there are usually challenges too, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the biggest headwinds? What's slowing things down for meal kit companies?
Yeah, that raises a really important question. Even with all that potential, what are the hurdles?
Right.
And their analysis points out a few key restraints holding back wider adoption.
Like what?
Well, first and foremost, there's cost, let's be honest.
Right. They can be pricey.
They tend to be, yeah.
Huh?
Significantly more expensive than, say, traditional grocery shopping or even grabbing takeout sometimes.
Why is that, though? Is it just profit?
Well, it's not just a simple markup.
Yeah.
That extra price, it has to cover everything from the specialized packaging, often insulated.
Right, the cold packs and stuff.
Exactly. And the complex, chilled delivery logistics. That all adds up. And it makes it a tough sell in regions where people are more price sensitive.
Okay, cost is one. What else?
Another big one is perishability. You're dealing with fresh ingredients.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
They need refrigeration, and any kind of delay in delivery which happens can quickly lead to spoilage. And that's, frustrating for the customer and a real operational headache for the company.
And I guess related to that, there's maybe cultural resistance, especially if you look outside, say, North America or Europe.
That's a really key point the research brings up, especially in emerging markets.
It's not just about the product, it's about habits, right?
Exactly. It highlights that human element. in many places, there's still a very strong preference for traditional cooking, for buying fresh ingredients daily from local markets. That's just the way things are done. And then on top of that, you layer in other barriers like maybe lower digital literacy or limited internet access in some areas. These aren't small things. They're significant challenges for companies trying to go global.
So how does that cultural hurdle compare to something like the cost barrier? Which one's tougher to overcome long term?
That's a fascinating interplay, actually. Cost can be that immediate no. You see the price, you balk.
Right.
But cultural resistance, that speaks to something deeper, right? It's about ingrained habits, traditions, not just what's in your wallet. So while both are substantial hurdles, cultural norms often need much more nuanced, maybe longer term strategies to shift.
That's a really insightful point. But okay, despite these challenges, cost, culture, logistics, innovation hasn't stopped. This market is still moving fast.
Oh, yeah.
So here's where it gets really interesting for me. What are the cutting edge things happening? What's
Yeah.
really reshaping the future here?
Well, according to the research, one of the most exciting trends is this push for enhanced personalization.
More than just picking meals.
Way more. Customers today, they don't just want preset menus. They want like total control to fit their specific tastes, their dietary needs, even down to their cooking skill level.
Okay, so what does that look like?
We're seeing platforms offering much more sophisticated filtering tools. You can control everything from, say, calorie counts to swapping out specific ingredients you don't like. It's really tailoring the experience down to a very, very granular level.
And speaking of tailoring, if we connect this to the bigger picture, sustainability is huge now, isn't it?
Massive.
Yeah, everyone's talking about it,
Yeah.
which is great, obviously. But given, all the packaging needed for fresh stuff, keeping it cold,
Mm.
how truly sustainable can meal kits realistically be right now? And what are the big breakthroughs needed there?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's critical. There are definitely inherent challenges, no doubt.
Right.
But companies are making pretty significant efforts towards environmental awareness. We're seeing a real push towards recyclable, compostable, even reusable packaging options.
Okay, so material science is part of it.
Yeah, material science, logistics innovations. They're also focusing more on local sourcing to cut down carbon emissions and offering more flexible delivery slots, which can actually help reduce overall food waste if planned right. It's a whole system approach.
So it's a work in progress, but they're trying.
Exactly. It's a journey for sure, but the industry is clearly moving in that direction. Consumers are demanding it.
And finally, we're seeing a shift in where you can get these kits right. It's not just online subscriptions anymore.
That's right. That's a really strategic move. While online subs still dominate, yeah, more brands are making that smart move into physical retail.
Like in the supermarket.
Exactly. Supermarkets, convenience stores, those little specialty grocers, this kind of omni-channel expansion, as they call it.
Right.
It isn't just about getting more shelf space. It's actually a really clever strategy to lower that commitment barrier.
So you can just try one.
Precisely. You can pick up a single kit on impulse. Maybe while you're doing your regular shop. Try it out, see if you like it. And then maybe you convert into a longer-term online subscriber down the line.
Interesting. Bridges the gap.
Yeah, it bridges that gap between an impulse buy and making it a regular habit. Gives people more ways to access it, more flexibility.
There's lots going on.
Definitely.
Right.
So whether you're, a health-conscious foodie, a super busy professional, or maybe just curious about where markets are heading, the meal kit scene is, well, it's clearly cooking up something big.
Yeah.
It's rich with flavor and opportunity, you could say, driven by that tech personalization and this growing focus on being more eco-friendly.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating space. And as you listening, consider all these changes. Maybe ponder this. How might this continued evolution of meal kits, with their mix of convenience, health, sustainability, how might that not just change how we eat, but maybe subtly reshape our daily routines, our whole relationship with cooking, and maybe even our local economies in the years ahead? Something to think about.